A wall. Something that is regarded as protective or divisive. Some people feel it divide, some people feel it protect. There's two sides to every wall, and there's two sides to every story. There's a story behind walls all over the world. Each had something that divided and something that protected. In 1989, there were 15 peace walls globally. In 2024, there's 77. In Belfast, we built walls in 1969 to bring about peace. We were physically divided. The walls got bigger and longer until they grew to be psychological barriers in our minds. The Good Friday Agreement was in 1998. In 2013, the executive committed to bringing the peace walls down by 2023. Some came down, but some went up. Many of us can't see the world behind the wall because we're told not to go there, so even when they're open, it still feels like they're closed. We're together, but yet we're apart. Together we want to see peace, but we also need to feel peace. They say the young generation can change the future, so how do we ensure their voices continue to be heard?
I grew up under the shadow of the wall, but it never made me feel safe or sad. It made me feel like someone had decided for me who I was supposed to be before I even had the chance to figure it out myself.
Growing up beside the wall was a constant reminder of the stories I heard about the Troubles. It was a symbol of segregation for me. It was ingrained into me that behind this wall was bitterness. I was growing up on the right side, a side where everyone knew each other and looked out for each other.
But lately I've been thinking about it differently. It's not just a wall, it's a story. A story of fear, of safety, of anger and of protection. It was built then for a reason, but now I ask myself, is it still a reason that makes sense?
For 18 months, Wall to Wall brought together young people from Clonard and Shankill. Communities divided by more than just a wall between them. Divided by history, identity, culture, stories and songs. They were strangers at first, shaped by the past, but united by one question: how does living beside a peace wall impact you? What started as temporary barbed wire in 1969 grew to be a permanent psychological division that became ingrained in the generations since. But this group of young people chose to break that, pushing themselves into difficult conversations, divided spaces and deep personal reflection.
Hearing the stories of people from the other side and how they lived life, but also seeing it for myself showed me the similarities. It was strange. I had never really thought about it from their perspectives.
We started to explore other areas across the world that had conflict, or where there's been division. I've never been outside the country we are from, so experiencing that with people who I didn't know or think that I liked 12 months ago was surreal. A very different setting. A very different conflict, but one where I see very similar mentalities to us here.
They explored and grew to understand themselves, each other and their communities in a way that has promoted a burning passion for change.
Even though the wall was part of my back garden, no one ever asked me what I thought or what I wanted until now. Groups like this need to happen more often. People like me need to be in this conversation.
What's your thoughts and feelings on the people on the other side of the peace wall?
I've had contact, but I wouldn't say a close relationship.
Why do you think that is?
Never met them.
So what's your thoughts and feelings on the people who live on the other side of the peace wall?
Well, they're just normal people like us, just living in different backgrounds in different areas and brought up differently in different communities.
Do you see the peace walls coming down?
I don't see them coming down in my lifetime.
Why do you think that is?
Because there's too much violence and there's too much houses that would be getting wrecked.
Do you not think there's a way to resolve the violence and a way to prevent people's houses from getting damaged?
Try to get more cross-community groups on both sides of the wall.
So Wall to Wall is a group that mainly talks about the walls and the peace walls within Belfast. Do you think these groups help these conversations?
It helps bring the people together to talk about the troubles that they or their parents have experienced in the past and how they can help to try and stop these problems happening in the future. I think it would help to bring the walls down, or even at least reduce them a good bit.
Do I see the walls come down? I would love to, but I also know that there is a generation that don't.
Will they be a part of our future? Who knows? But it's good for us to be a part of that conversation.
They've been called the peacemakers, challenging the story of segregation that was sold to them. We know that the young generation can change the future, so what will that story look like?